No one in this world can you trust. Not men, not women, not beasts. This you can trust.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Glory of Golden State Gaming. I'm your host, SwampSwimmer, and with me, as always, the Laurel to my Hardy, Vespasian.
Hey, everybody.
So, quick little things. I thought we'd talk about, we have a new setup. If you notice on screen, it's a little different, a little more exciting. This is the setup I had for the D&D games. I think it's a little more flavorful. It's got like we're like player cards on a tabletop. It's like we're like talking about it while we're actually on a tabletop. I kind of like it. But
I want to make sure that everybody knows that the mastermind behind all of this is SwampSwimmer and not me. I just show up and wax philosophical. So all kudos to him.
But the little thing I want to talk to the audience about is, if anyone noticed on the channel, I did for the first time, I like to call it a 9th Age background dramatic reading video. I entitled them the 9th Age Theater, with the R-E spelled the British way. If you want to click the link right above my head, actually right now I think it's above Vespasian's head. That is my first video, and it was really fun to make. A lot of experimentation, trying to figure things out. It was really fun to make, but the response I got from the comments on the video was all very positive, and I was like, oh, this is fun. People seem to like it. It was an excerpt from the Vermin Swarm background book that just came out recently. I was wondering, for you, Vespasian, and also for our audience, please comment below. What do you want to see next? Is there a story in any of the background books that you want to have made by me? Is there any stories that jump out at you that you think would be fun to do a little dramatic reading of?
So start off by saying I loved it. I think that's really, really great. A kind of a new element to 9th Age that I think, at least back when I was playing Warhammer, nothing like that existed. To have this kind of like more, I don't know, I would call it like exploratory style of world building. In depth, kind of in person. So I think that's really, really cool. In terms of what I'd like to see next, good question. I mean, I think that the project's background methodology of, first person human perspective as the predominant, or entire or at least predominant voice lends itself to it. So you got a lot of candidate fodder for this. So I'd be excited to see what the community, asks for. And yeah, I'd love to see, if there had been another speaking role in that one, I would have, for me, I would have played it, but maybe next time.
So yeah, the one I was thinking about was from the KOE background book, and it was the Inquisitor interrogating the halfling who had spent time in Equitaine. I think that'll be really fun. That's for cool. You and me. You be the Inquisitor, me be the halfling, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, for sure.
And you can add a little subtext, like, in the story, it's just like a dialogue between two characters, but in the context, you could like, I'm on the torture device and you're talking to me on the torture device, and every once in a while I squeak when you turn the lever a little bit, like, fun stuff like that.
Just worry about the tag words for that and what that'll mean for any political career that I might have, right? We found this video of this guy torturing anyways, no ambitions, no political ambitions at all, so
Fair enough. All right, so again, comment down below if you guys have a good idea you want of one of the stories from the 9th Age project. I'd love to hear about it. Also, hey, the usual, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, go over to Twitch, link in the description below, and hit that follow button also. We're doing more live videos every day, so hit that up. But today we're talking about my round 3 of Sactown Smackdown, a 1-day 3-game tournament. After round 2, we were both sitting at 31, or I think I was 31, you were 32 points. There was a possibility we could have got it matched in together, but that didn't happen.
That would have been epic.
It would have been epic, but it didn't happen. I got matched into Steve. Oh, and I gotta adjust the image a little bit, but I'll get that in the next video. I got paired into Steve, who is actually the individual who painted my army for me. So that's really.
Did he insert any sort of sabotage into the models to catch you unawares at the wrong moment where he clicked a button?
No. But we'll see.
Minotaur Warlord fall off. WYSIWYG. He doesn't have busted inscriptions anymore.
Very convenient. But no. Later on, hopefully next couple videos, I'm gonna get Steve on the channel and we can talk about the army and how he painted it and the methods, and we'll have some better high quality photos of my army. And hopefully we can get some people, some more business over to Steve. But let's talk about the battle report. Ah, man. I gotta work on my layout a little bit. This is the first time, but this is cut off a little bit. But if you are interested in my list, please click the link right above my head. It is the link to the Sactown Smackdown list review, where we go over my list in detail. But let's talk about Steve's list. Ah, man, hold on one second. See if I can fix this on the fly. Hold on. Here we go. This is a little better.
And then can you zoom?
It's not perfect, but don't worry, I'll fix this for the next video. He is running a Goblin Witch Doctor. Let me zoom in. Yeah, not perfect.
Oh, that's almost perfect where you were. I mean, it cuts off like the last couple words on that first line, but everything else is good. Yeah, that's good.
He's running the Goblin Witch Doctor on the Gargantula with the Spider Mother Shrine. Big boy. He's got Hero's Heart also. That's kind of the main danger point of his army. But then beyond that, he has the General on a boar. I'm sorry, the General on foot with the Crown of Autocracy and a bunch of shady shanking. He's got the Goblin King on a Nasher Cowboy. He's got 32 Orc Ed Bashers common with Spear and Shield. 30 common goblins with the 3 Shady Gits. 10 Goblin Raiders, 19 in Iron Orcs, 7 Raiders, 5 Raiders, a Boar Chariot, and the Great Green Idol. So going into this matchup, I felt pretty good. He didn't have that much shooting. He just had a lot of bodies to chew through, you know? I was feeling confident when I came into this battle.
Yeah, there's some kind of weird choices I feel like a little bit in this list, like I feel like the head bashers, should always be feral. I think that the guy with the shield breaker on the lance, I'd probably rather see that on paired weapons or something like that. Although I guess he's going for the 1-up rerollable there. Because just anything extra to proc the poison shield breaker is the that's the key to that build. And then I think I like that he's got the warlord in there to make that block stubborn. That's nice. But yeah, I agree with you. I think the thing that worries me is that with witchcraft and this build, it's kind of like the things that can reach out and hurt you are the spider, which you don't want to put in danger, the idol, and then the boar chariots, basically, and everything else is like pretty blocky and slow moving. So
yeah,
I think there's some. I guess he's really relying on witchcraft to allow him to really dictate and the pace of the game, where everything is, and how the units get into combat, which is a lot of pressure on the magic phase, I think.
Yeah, true. I think he's got a lot of chaff, which I think is going to be hard for me, because he's got Goblin Raiders, and then 2 lone chariots running around. That's probably my only concern. But yeah, I felt good going into this matchup.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see. Is that fitting in the screen? Yeah, that works pretty well.
It is. It's small though. Maybe maybe I need to change my view, but
No, it's my end. I'm gonna get as big as I can here. There we go. That's about as good as it's gonna get right now. But,
I changed my view. This is better. Yeah. Okay.
So this was counter thrust, so we were dropping one by one, and we went through almost our whole army dropping one by one. Neither of us really dropped. And I remember I ended up dropping this Wildhorn block in the center first, and then he kind of stayed far back, and I came right up to the line everywhere to be as far forward as I can. And I can't remember what I dropped last, but afterwards I had a +1 to the go first roll, and I failed it. He ended up going first. He beat me with the +1 when I had the +1. But let's go over my deployment. On the far left, I've got the minnow stick, I've got a giant, I've got a Wildhorn block with the shamanism soothsayer in it, the gargoyles in front here. On the other side of this impassable, I've got the other Wildhorn block, a minnow stick, my minotaur block with my warlord and my BSB in it, and gargoyles, and the last giant on the far right. He has, on the far left is the spear shield orcs. Next to them is the black orcs with his general in it. Right here is the cowboy. In the back, first of all, this model, hopefully we get a better picture in the future. This model that he used for his Gargantula is freaking awesome. But we'll get back to that. That's the Gargantula in the back. He's got the goblins here. These are the wolf riders in gray. Gray green idol behind them. This is one chariot, then more goblin. This is the spider riders. Then spider riders, and then the wolf riders in the center, then another chariot, and then more spider riders. So I think after deployment, I realized immediately I think I made a mistake, because I was trying to use this hill as a buffer to slow him down. Like, he can't charge immediately, and then he gets on the hill, and then I'll chaff him, so I have an extra turn of like chaffing him basically because of the hill. And I was planning to sweep from my right to my left, with the minnow block obviously blowing through everything, and then the giant on the far right. I think I made a mistake here. I realized it pretty much right when we finished deployment. I should have put the minnow block on the left to go toe to toe with the black orcs. But we'll see how it ends up. So
the way it's built out here, it sort of looks like he's just gonna chaff the Minotaur block all game and try to pick up what you have on the left. Basically.
Spoiler alert: that's kind of what happens. Kind of.
Okay.
Let's see here. This is, I think that's his first turn. He doesn't do much movement. He kind of reshuffles. Okay, and then in his magic phase, he gets off one spell, and he gets the random movement off on my giant on my left. This giant here.
Okay.
So I have a decision. I have a choice to have him bump into my units and stay where he is, or have him random move out in the middle of nowhere somewhere. I go with the choice of random moving him out in the front, which you can see here. This is where he ends up. I thought I wanted to give him an opportunity to throw some of his units into the giant and then me countercharge. That's what I was thinking. And this is my first mistake, I think. I put the gargoyles up to chaff these two blocks because the black orcs can see the giant and charge into him and then overrun into one of my big blocks, which is what I was afraid of. I wanted to slow him down on the left flank. And really, I don't think I should have done that. I should have let him take the giant, get into a fight. I think these Wildhorn blocks with magic can take on that Black Orc block by themselves with magic buffs. But this is what happens. And then on the far right, I basically push everything forward. I push the gargoyles forward to chaff any charges he has and to mess up any chaffing he has into my minotaurs. In my magic phase, I get the big Spectral Blades and Awaken the Beast off on this Wildhorn block, anticipating that he's going to either charge with chariots or something into my front, or into the front of this unit. I didn't really have that many good options for magic in the round one, which I normally do, so that it's no big deal what happened here. It was just a preventative magic. And this is a little bit of a blurry pick, but this is his top of turn 2. First thing he does is chaff my minnows with one of, I think this is the wolf unit. He puts the iron orcs into my gargoyles on the hill. He puts one of his chariots into the giant and his cowboy into the giant. And then he puts his other chariot into the Wildhorn block with all the buffs. And I think he puts the gray spider riders in there too, but I can't remember. And then he basically pushes everything up as far as you can behind those combats. So it's an interesting move. I wasn't expecting that move. We'll see what happens. Oh, I don't remember. I think he did put the goblin riders, the spider riders, into my Wildhorns here, and in combat I killed him, but I couldn't kill the chariot.
Really?
Okay, so
with Spectral and Awaken up, you couldn't kill the chariot? That seems surprising.
Yeah, I remember I couldn't do it. I remember it was surprising I couldn't do it, and I didn't. The chariot and the cowboy that went into the giant just toast him, and he overruns with the chariot. I think he overruns with both, and somehow he makes both into this Wildhorn unit. Man, I must have missed some pictures here. Charges. Yeah, anyway, he gets both of them into my Wildhorn block on the, I think this is 2 turns later. He blows them up.
This is your turn, because your Minotaur block is charging that chaffing Wolf Rider unit, which was
this is my bottom of 2.
Yeah. So yeah, he must have killed the giant and overran with both. Yeah. You put the minnow stick into the flank of the chariot, and you got pinned by that chariot, shockingly.
Exactly, yeah. And then I countercharge with the minnows, and you can only see the edge of it here on the left of the minnows, but that's his big orc block, spear and shield block, and they keep pushing up the side because it's breakthrough is a secondary.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and then
it's actually massive that you didn't take out that chariot, because look at what you could have done if that unit had been able to pivot and countercharge right now.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I mean, that's his spider right there?
It's a spider right there, okay. And that's his goblins there with the shady gets.
Goblin unit, yeah. Okay.
In my magic phase, I get off a bunch of buffs on this unit to take care of that chariot, and also anticipation of another unit coming in on me. Oh, I remember now. This block over here on the left, he black-winged them farther down to the left and then turned to face me, so he was in my flank. All right, so after my turn, I end up killing the chariot that was with this block here. The minnow stick stays where it is to chaff these 2 units, and then he takes the charge. I think he tried to charge his big spider into this unit, and I said I wanted no part of it, and I fled, and then it redirected into this other unit. After the combat last turn, I did reform with these wild horns, and I couldn't kill that chariot again. And I reformed deep because I knew the big spider was coming in. Of course, the minnows go straight through, and then he chaffs the minnows again with the spider riders. Yeah, and then he moves the goblins.
Flanked your minnow. Is he flanking your minnow, Brick, or?
No, he's facing south, but he's Oh no, he is. You're right. I charged with the minnow stick into the chaff pieces and overran too far, and he got a flank charge into them. So it's a bit of a crazy game. And sorry, I took horrible pictures this game.
No, it's just tough. I mean, all the units are like right on top of each other from turn 2. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah. So over here, he ends up killing the minnow stick, obviously, and he doesn't overrun. He wants to get at this wildhorn block. And if I remember correctly, I do rally and reform where I am. This combat in the center, he kills a bunch of guys, and I still don't kill that chariot. Let's see. So after combat,
that's taking bad luck to an extreme. I mean, you've had 3 rounds of combat against that guy with like a gazillion attacks.
I reform wide because I want to go full attacks into his spider. That's gonna hopefully kill a spider if I get the right buffs off. I double charge the chaff with my minnow and the giant, and the spiders are the goblins kill the minnow stick and then don't overrun. Man, I don't remember this game well. I feel like this is a horrible battle report. I'm sorry, guys. And what I was hoping is if I overrun with that giant, I can make it into the flank, or I can make it into the front of those goblins.
Yeah.
In the magic phase, I get what I want. That the wildhorn block. Let's reform that. There you go. The wildhorn block gets the boosted spectral blades and awaken the beast off into the spider, which is exactly what I wanted. And
have you used the wild horn thing yet?
I don't think I did. Or I did the first round to try to kill that chariot, and I didn't do it. So this is another jump. I'm sorry, I took horrible pictures this game. I killed the chaff on the right. I don't make it all the way into the goblins, which would have pinned him there. That was a big roll for me. I think it was like a 6 or a 7, and I didn't do it. I put all but 1 wound on the giant spider, so it's down to 1 wound, and I killed the chariot. Let's see here. Yeah, and then in his turn, he charges the wildhorn block on the bottom here. He ends up killing it. I remember that. So my left flank is completely collapsed at this point. And he charges the goblins, towing up against my wildhorns here in the center. Yeah, man. So the wildhorns lose the combat but kill the spider. So they run. The goblins overrun into the gargoyles, and now these wildhorns. And I think I take the charge with my minotaurs and my giant into his great green idol, which is a good combat for me.
Yeah, the blessed inscriptions on the warlord makes that pretty favorable.
Yeah, and also I've got the totemic might on my BSB. Which
Forgot
is really
about
helpful.
That.
Yeah, and then I take the charge into the Great Green Idol. I think I rally these Wildhorns, which is nice. And I kill the Great Green Idol. Okay, these are horrible pictures. If I remember correctly, he kills the he kills the gargoyles, and then he double charges this Wildhorn unit and kills it. So it's all that's left on the board is my minnow block and my giant, and he's got 1, 2, 3 units left with his general in it.
Yeah, but he gets subjected.
Yes, and he gets secondary. All of my points are a lot of my points are in that minnow block, so I end up beating him on points, but he gets the secondary, and it ends up a 8-12. Yeah, it was a bit of a crazy game.
This is like a strategy trumps tactics kind of a game. I feel like, right? It's like you were kind of slogging uphill, and it seems like you made the right in-game decisions at most of the steps along the way, and then a couple bad luck points kind of made it even more of an uphill slog for you. Yeah,
I think I made the wrong deployment, because he basically blew through me on the left, and there was just too much there with those 2 big blocks. Mainly the main threat was the Iron Orcs, and I couldn't close the door fast enough with the Minotaurs, because he was chaffing them every turn. I couldn't close the door fast enough. I really should have the Minotaurs farther to the left. That wasn't my mistake. But Steve played a great game. And I really liked his army when I realized it. He had all these chaff pieces that were really, really good. Like, I think he had the numbers that Orcs and Goblins usually have, but he was using these single piece models, the chariots, the Goblin Raiders, and the Cowboy in a really effective way. And I can't remember, I killed the Cowboy. Yeah, I killed the Cowboy when I buffed up this unit. I ended up killing the Cowboy and the Chariot, because I had the boosted Spectral Blades on it. I'm telling you, yeah. Boosted Spectral Blades on these Wildhorn blocks is just freaking magic.
Well, except for that Boar Chariot.
Except for that goddamn Boar Chariot.
I can't believe. So wait, hold on. That is.
I think
4, 8, 9.
I had Awaken the Beast and Spectral Blades, and he came in, and I couldn't kill him.
17 attacks, 3s re-rolling, and 4s re-rolling lethal. Didn't kill it. That's bad luck, man. Wow. I mean, the thing only has like a 3-up armor, right? I mean, it's not. Yeah. It's not like. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think I think you were dead on that it was going to be an uphill slog after deployment. I think I that big spider with the mage. I mean, I probably would rather see the Goblin King than the mage on foot somewhere running around, so that it's not such a all eggs in one basket kind of a model. But otherwise, I think Steve played this game well.
Yeah, I remember this now. Okay, so the Chariot came into that big block with all the buffs, and he put these Goblin Spiders here next to them, right here, and I charged them with this Minnow Stick to hopefully clear them out. And he fled. That's what happened. And then I just couldn't kill the Chariot. Which is crazy. I should have killed him. Yeah.
So he definitely lucked out there, because that Chariot, that's why he had the Spider Riders there, so that when the Chariot died, that you couldn't pivot and get any other big charges. And so once the Chariot lived, he actually was better off saving that chaff, because he didn't need it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that Chariot. Yeah. That Chariot would have died, then I probably would have charged the Goblins and then overran into the Spider.
That's why I had the Raider.
Yeah, and the other thing that frustrated me was this move when I double charged the chaff piece, the Goblins over here, and I wanted that overrun with the Giant into the Goblins, because I would have just killed them. Like, I would have slogged. I would have definitely would have pinned them, and I would have just, the Giant would just eventually get through all of them, and that would have prevented these Wildhorns from breaking here. Yeah. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's another point where I think your tactics were stronger, right? Steve could have angled that unit, it looks like, pretty easily to prevent that overrun from even being possible, but then he got saved by your dice, basically.
And I think in it, his goblin unit here did kill the minnow stick. Yeah. The reason why he didn't overrun because he would have hit his goblin shaft before he overran it. Yeah. He would have just bumped. That's why he didn't overrun.
Maybe he didn't have the movement to get him further, but like, for example, like if that shaft was over, 3 inches, 2 to 3 inches, and then angled up so that the flank charge of the giant would have just taken him out into space, right? Then wouldn't have even had the risk, right?
Yeah. Anyway, Steve, thank you for the great game. I ended up with 31 plus 8 is 39 points for 3 games. Average of 13 a game. I can't complain about that. I think this was a really great tournament for me. I'm really, I feel like I'm really getting into my groove with the beast herds. But yeah, if anyone's still watching, please hit that like and subscribe. Please hit that follow on Twitch, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.